Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Roger. This is Eliz Kapika. I'm calling from Atlanta. I don't know if you guys are still taking comments about the new vice president of Zambia. And definitely, I wasn't a PF supporter, but President Edgar Lungu has definitely won my heart, and I'm sure as well as that of many women. And it's just also encouraging to the women youth that we have a chance of attaining, greater higher office in the political scene. And just like Matilda said, women often don't get recognition for what they've been doing all along, and just now is the time to show that recognition. I think they deserve it. And women have always been pushing social and political agendas for a very long time. From the time of freedom fighting and stuff. Women such as Mama Kankasa, Chief Justice Lombe, Edith Nawakwi, Professor Nkandulu, and now Mama Wina. So this just shows also that we are ahead of the United States because, as far as gender equality, because, they're yet to even nominate a female vice president. So this is very encouraging to all of us women. And that's all I have to say.
Well, the next president, Elizabeth, may just be the woman president. But I like what you say. Probably this is one thing, Nathan, we are going to be, even him, Lungu should be looking at. We have seen the divide of the nation, how it has been divided right in half. Elizabeth here is, with the appointment of Mama Wina, we are seeing ourselves that we can go on higher ground. This is, these are some of the questions, Elizabeth, I ask myself. Obama and the black family goes to the White House. It gives me that feel-good feeling. And then I say to myself, but what is my benefit? I guess even people who look at us in only, we can only be thugs, now can look at us in a very different way. So I like that. Sometimes I like to think with
yeah, because actually like recently
to see her go that high.
Exactly, yes. Because recently my post I'd even predicted before the elections, I was predicting that sooner rather than later we might see a female Zambian president. So the appointment was kind of like a confirmation to that, even though we haven't reached that status yet. But I think we're on the way to that, and I think it prepares other women also to step up more on the political scene and push in. I mean, get out that inner power and take it out from the outside and push into for more, political and social and get more recognition. So maybe we can even have a greater pool of, women to be our leaders and stuff. So I think we're going in the right direction.
I do agree. I'm not sure how you have followed the current election, Elizabeth. Last week, I can ask you. I've got a chart here which is really showing how divided our country is. From your previous point, what would you say to the president in the appointments of his cabinet? Because the more people like women feel excluded, the more you don't want to participate in anything. And probably you even become hostile to government. With the division we have seen in the last election, you and Patrick Maparo maybe may take up this. What should the president be doing, especially in the governance of the nation? How can he allow everyone to be at the table?
I think he should mix up his cabinet. He should mix up his cabinet from as far as age and tribes, because I think right now the biggest fight is tribe or tribalism or whatever it is. It's very disheartening for us that are mixed. And I really think that he should be more open also to work with the opposition, because when he opens up to work with the opposition, I mean, he's opening up not only to the opposition, but to the other people that were supporting that opposition, and then he's going to look like he's open-minded and that, that he truly has a vision for the country, not just one for the patriotic front. So, and I think bring on the youth because I personally feel like
I agree.
when the party did not nominate Mount Sampa, I felt robbed just because I look up to him as he represents the youth and stuff. So I think he can bring on people like that, and then bring on people from all parts of the country. I think that would be a great. And then also, I also like what he said about the diplomatic office or the diplomatic, the diplomacy or whatever around the world. That it won't be about Chibululu anymore, but it will be about qualifications. I think that he's winning my heart. I mean, seriously, if I was in Zambia during the elections, I would hardcore campaigning for HH, but after Chibululu came in and he's done just these little things, like he's winning my heart. So doing that, and then especially if he's going to act upon what he said. Because, someone can say something, but then later on act differently. But if you just act on that, I think the fact that you already appointed a woman vice president.
Roger, I have a question.
Back in their bags.
That's a big one right there, Elizabeth.
Roger, I have a question for you.
Elizabeth says a line of thought here. How Bwanalungu should work very, very fast, actually, to bring this nation together, because nothing good, Patrick, can come out of this division which has come up from this election.
Oh yeah, we have all seen what this division has done in the country. You can see that tribal cousins siding with each other, and that's how the pattern is going. I always say, I was telling someone, I said, President Kaunda, for me, on what I'm about to say, actually, he deserved a PhD. When students would graduate from a college, they would look at your last name and send you to another province where you are young, and they look at your last name Wansa, they send you to Mongu or Mulenga, they send you to Mongu, you are young, you get there, you find a wife. You are a young woman, they look at your last name, they send you, if you are a Sikanyika, they send you somewhere in Eastern, or they send you to Northwestern. And by that, our country actually mixed. And that was actually Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's idea to actually have that in system. That's why we have children today called Nyambe Mulenga, because of that. Now that actually stopped. And because of that, the country now begin to be so much on these tribal lines, which I think if we can go back to drawing board and begin to polarize our country, you put something that is deliberate and intentional, you do it intentionally. Let's do this because it's going to help our country. And this is where we have found ourselves. I'm looking forward, Rogers, to a time where Mukumbuta Limbali stands as a member of parliament for Kasama Central and wins against the Chari Mulenga, because Chari Mulenga doesn't have good policies for, in his policy exposition. And then vice versa, you have Mulenga Chari win as member of parliament for Mongu Central. It looks like a perfect dream, but if we can be intentional and purposeful in what we want to do, this is very much achievable. So our country needs to come together in those lines. When it comes to church circles, we don't have a problem really that much. You'd find that maybe in Luapula, Mansa, there is a pastor actually who is from another province, and the congregation there is somewhat different. So these, we have to be very, very intentional to address them, and to be very intentional. On the issue of a woman president and vice president, I think that's a good direction that the president has taken. I have a lot of other reservations just because of maybe our biological composition of our bodies. Those are issues that can actually be tackled, but when we talk about human rights and gender equality, I think there are some things that should be taken into consideration. So they could be religious or some other thing, but I think it's good in the right direction.
When you say because of our biological composition, I probably know what you mean, but I want to push you what you really mean.
Okay. you know, Roger, as men, we are hunters, and biologically, women are meant to receive. You know, that's the biological composition of their body. They're meant to receive, and this is why, Roger, you can, if you have a bottle that has got a lid that is so tight that you fail to open it, I can ask you, Roger, open this for me. You try, and then Patrick is sad. A woman comes to you and says, "But Roger, would you please open this for me?" From nowhere, your strength comes. Boom! It's open. So that just tells you that women are actually with this natural inborn ability to encourage, just to tell you that you can do this, and you know you do it. There's that, but they conceive. That's why we don't conceive as men. Women conceive, and that's how they are able to give birth to something. So,
okay, my question was, you were talking about a president-elect to also involve the other political parties. You see, how can he do that when you have, I know the way it was started by Bomo and Awasa, it wasn't, there's that lack of consultation. How can it work, Elizabeth? When you have a sitting president appoint an MP from an opposition party, that MP gets in trouble with the political party they belong to. How should we deal with that situation?
Do they get in trouble with that? I think maybe something like that is, both parties had a very good agenda running when they were campaigning. I mean, if they brought on, maybe it's not necessarily an appointment, but if they sat down together and shared those ideas and maybe give credit to the opposition party and said, you know, after all, we are one Zambia and we're working on these issues together. So maybe it's not necessarily an appointment of an MP from UPND or MMD or something like that, but it's just bringing those ideas together and giving credit to, you know, whoever brought on those ideas. Like maybe what HH wants to do for the educational sector. You know, things like that. And I'm not sure about other leaders, what their exact political agenda was, but at least something like that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The idea, Nathan, of just appointing, you don't even consult the other guys. What do you think about this appointment? Because you can do it. I think that's why that backfires. And yes, if these guys, like Eliz is saying here, can be consulting, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have any representation in Northwestern Province. You have in Parliament. Can you nominate one or two people who can come and serve in my government? That will show respect to the others.
Yeah.
You know, it is human nature. As Patrick, we men have that ego we want to protect all the time.